Hi everyone, I am Prashant Nandam. I am a DevOps engineer and I am planning to start a Linux series and I am very excited to help students and beginners to get started with one of the most powerful operating system which is Linux, and the repository here is designed as a beginner friendly guide to improve your understanding of Linux through practical day-to-day commands usage and fundamental concepts. And if you click on this repository, we will be having an overview and the content which are going to cover in this series. I planned this in 6 sessions. First one is Introduction to Linux and History, Linux File System and Navigation, Files and Directory Management, Users and Permission Management, Process and Package Management, Networking, Logs and System Info. And if you see here, we have a repo which is session 1, Introduction to Linux and History. In this, we will be covering what is an operating system and we'll deep dive into history of Linux and we'll see popular Linux distributions. Later, we will see how to install a Linux machine on your local computer using virtualization tools like VirtualBox. And then we'll try to connect to the machine via Putty. After that, we'll be creating an EC2 instance in AWS and we'll try to connect to it. And again, if you see here, let me brief a bit more on this. On this Linux and introduction to Linux and history, we'll be seeing it's like we'll begin with a Linux history and how it came to be and why it's so widely used today. And when it Linux file system and navigation, we'll be learning about Linux directory structures and how to move around using the command line and file and directory management. This includes creating and modifying, managing files and folders effectively. Users and permission management, we'll explore how Linux handles user accounts and how to manage file permissions securely. Then again, we'll be seeing process and package management. We'll cover how to manage running process and install or update software packages there. At last, we'll be going through networking logs and system info. Here finally, we'll be looking at the basic network commands, log files, and how to check system statuses. We'll be looking into this. Now, if we go to first session, as discussed earlier, we'll be going through operating system and history of Linux, popular Linux distributions, and connecting, creating an EC2 instance and connecting to it. Now, if you see what is an operating system, most of the people might aware of this, but just to explain again, an operating system is the main software that runs on a computer device, and it acts as a bridge between hardware and software. Now, if you see, we have so many operating systems, but a few of them are Windows, Mac OS, Linux. And in Linux, we have most popular Linux distributions. I mean, the distributions which we regularly use, which are Ubuntu, Red Hat Enterprise, and CentOS and Rocky Linux. These are the uh, most used one, and there are many other distributions as well, such as Debian, Fedora, Kali Linux. Now we'll see Introduction to Linux and Linux history. Here, I will explain you in short about how Linux came into existence. A short history about that. We all know Linux is a free open source operating system, and I would like to let you know that the Linux operating system has begun in 1991 when a Finnish student named Linus Torvald created it as a personal project. Before Linux, there was an operating system called Unix, which is developed in 1969, which was known for being powerful and stable, especially in universities and large companies. But whereas Unix is not a freely available one. Again, in 1987, a smaller educational version called Minix was created to teach students how operating system works. And later, Linus Torvalds used ideas from both Unix and Minix to develop Linux. And after developing the Linux and releasing it freely under an open source license, Linux grew very quickly with the help of developers around the world. And if you see today, Linux is one of the most used operating system. Now we'll see how to install a Linux machine in your laptop. To do that, we need to have a Oracle VirtualBox. I have provided a link here in the Git repo. If you click on that, it will take you to the official website, and from there you can download it as per your OS. Once it is downloaded, you need to search for it. Yeah, if you see, it is already downloaded in my file. We'll be opening that, and we will see how to create a Linux machine in our local laptop. After downloading the Oracle VirtualBox, you need to install it and click on New. Give a name for that. I'll be giving it as Linux FNPR, and I'll choose the folder. Now ISO file. I would like to inform you here, ISO file. To create an Linux machine in your local laptop, we need an ISO file. If you click on the link which I provided here, it will take you to the official website of Rocky Linux. In our case, I am downloading the Rocky Linux ISO file because I want to go with Rocky Linux. And you will be seeing here Rocky Linux versions 8, 9, 10. You need to download one of the here ISO files. And if what is an ISO now, you may ask me. It's like ISO is the installation image of the operating system. It's like a digital DVD that contains everything needed to install in Linux machine. And without ISO file, we cannot set up a Linux machine in our environment. After downloading the Linux, now we have downloaded the VirtualBox. We also have the ISO file. I already downloaded it in my local machine. If you see here, Rocky 8.9 DVD ISO. Now open the Oracle VirtualBox. Give a name. In the ISO image file, you need to select the ISO image. Now in my case, it is under the downloads. Let me select downloads DVD ISO. I have set the path. Click next. Give a name. I'll be giving Linux test. Password I'll set it on my own. Once password is done, click next. Here we have to select base memory and the processor. 2 GB processor, 2 GB of memory is fine for me, and I'm okay with two processors, two CPUs. You can go as you wish, and I'll go with 40 GB of hard disk. Click next. Now it will give us what all we have selected. Now if you see, we have provided the username and the ISO image. Everything can be seen here, memory and processors, disk size and everything. Now click finish. It will take some time. Cool. It started. What I'm saying, may check some error. Sorry. Okay, let me select the image again and see where it is going. Settings, storage, control ID and ISO image. Let me restart again. Okay, now if you see, the image is started. Now I'll install Rocky Linux 8. I downloaded 8.10 ISO and I'm going with the installation. The installation is started. It may take some time, please bear with me. And basically why we are creating this mission, because we need to have a Linux mission to work on the command. So that is why we are creating this Linux mission in our local laptop. And once it is done, we'll also see how we can create an EC2 instance in AWS and how can we connect from outside of our world, outside of the network, I mean to say. Now it will ask us some things. We need to give permissions. Yeah, I am okay with English US. Click continue. Now in this page, we have to select the installation shorts. That's okay, done. Now installation destination. We need to select the storage which you have provided. Not so. Yeah, we have selected our storage. And American time is okay for me. I want to expose to internet, so I'll turn on the Ethernet. Then again, now I want to explain you this software selection system. Here mostly we will use two things. If you want the mission to have GUI, we'll be going with the server with GUI. And if you don't want to have GUI, I mean the normal GUI as Windows has operating system, like everything will be seeing, File Explorer, all those things. Similar way, Linux do have a GUI, and we can see all the options, terminal and browsers, everything in the GUI. If you don't want to go with GUI, we can select minimal installation, and in minimal installation, it will show us only command prompt. For now, I'll go with GUI, and I'll be creating a password for the user, root password. I'll reconfirm the root password. I'm done. I'll be creating a user. What to select for user? Let's select Rocky Linux on Rocky. And I want this to be as an administrator so that I don't need to make him as an administrator later if I required. I'll be giving the password. I didn't enter one more, I believe. Cool. Now we done with the process and everything. I'll begin installation. It will take some time. We'll hold on this. Now what it is trying to do is, based on the image which is selected, which is 8.10 Rocky Linux, and it is trying to download all the packages, and they're trying to set up the environment for us. Take some time, we'll hold. Or else I'll do one thing, I'll pause the video and I'll come back once it is done. Just give a moment. It seems like it's done. Let's click on the reboot system. Now our system is getting ready. Will take only few minutes. We'll hold on. Okay, let's accept the license. I accept and I confirm. Finish configuration. Cool. Now the system is set up and the user which we created earlier is shown here and asking for the password to login. I'll be providing my password and cool. Now we'll be in the session. Yeah, if you see, this is Rocky Linux, the mission which we created recently. And if you click on activities, let's finish this as well. I'll go with English US, that's okay. Okay, skip, start using Linux. Yeah, if you click on activities, let's cancel this. If you click on activities, we'll get all the applications which required, Firefox and files, all the systems. And let's see on this. 39 GB it has came. We provided 40 GB. Okay, you can use terminal and all these things here. If you click terminal, we'll be getting a key. Let's select our IP. Let's look for IP. Okay, I forgot to mention. Let's a network. I have selected it as an act. It should be bridged. Let me go with the bridged for my use case and let's get here now. Host name -I. Now what we'll do, we'll try to connect this machine with a putty. Click putty. This I don't need now. Let me delete. What is the IP address? 10.0.2.15. I'll provide the same here as well so that I don't need to enter again and again. Save. After clicking, it will be saved, and once you click open, mm, I need to restart the network settings, I believe. Yeah, that's what. Okay, let's cancel this. It's better restart VM. If it is taken changes or not, we'll come to know. Instead of starting the service, I am just going with the restart of the mission just to avoid any misconfiguration in between. You can also just start the network settings again. Okay, come on. Cool. It's loading. Wonderful. It's came again. Let's provide our password for the user. We will verify the IP addresses now and we'll connect via Putty. To just verify the IP address, you can use this command host name hyphen capital I. Yeah, now if you see the IP is in 192 series. And to do this, you need to have Putty installed. And what all we done now, we installed Oracle VirtualBox, we installed that, we download the ISO file, and we have followed the I mentioned the steps which we followed over there. And now to connect to that mission via Putty, you need to download the Putty application in your laptop. This is the official link for the Putty. Once you click on that, it will take you to the official website, and you can click on the download and download it as per your requirement. And then after that, you can install it, and after successful installation you will be seeing an icon like this Putty in under apps. Now we will provide our IP here. What it is, 192.168.0.2. Let me delete this since we don't need anymore. 192.168.0.2. Let's save this. Click open. Yeah, it will show you to accept. Now what we need to do, we need to enter our username, which is Rocky, and the password for that. Now we are in the lab terminal session. If you see, this is the GUI. This is the GUI of the mission. We created Rocky Linux, and this is the GUI, and this is the terminal. What we did after going here, we opened a terminal. After mission setup, we opened a terminal, and then we entered host name. Sorry, host name hyphen I to get the IP addresses, and this first one is your IP. And then we opened a Putty and we provided the username and password after giving the Putty credentials. This is what we have done. Now we can verify the IP address here as well. If we click hostname hyphen IP, we will see 192.168.0.0, and then I want to, we can also see the files, and for this it will give you all the folders which are present, and we can verify present working directory. We are currently on home and Rocky is our user. Now what we'll do, I'll show you one last thing, how to verify the system details. For that we need to do cat and etc os release. Cat is nothing but it will just show you the output of the content which is under folder etc and file os release. Yeah, if you see here, we entered cat otc release, we see Rocky Linux and 8.10. This is our OS details. And to exit the session, you can just click exit, it will close. And you can also verify the same here, present working directory. Oh, sorry, it's in cap, it should be case in home and Rocky. And under this, what we are going to do, we are verifying the OS details. See, it will show you Rocky Linux 8.10. That's how we, let me minimize this for a while. That's how we'll create an EC2, we create a virtual machine in Oracle VirtualBox in your laptop. So what all we have done now, we have seen introduction to Linux history and what are the operating system and popular Linux distributions. And then we have seen how to install Linux machine on your local laptop, local computer. For that, what we need a VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox, and we need an ISO file image. Then we need to follow the steps which we provided. I just added all the steps here. And then to connect to that mission via only terminal, we need Putty for better user preference. If you want to go with only terminal and you don't want to use GUI for a while, you can take Putty session and go with that. And what we need to have to download the Putty, we need to go to the official website and we download it. and then again we can verify IP address by running hostname and all, and we also verified the operating system details by running cat etc host list, and these are the steps which we follow to connect to Putty. Now what we'll do, we will log into our AWS account. I already have an AWS account. If not, you can create your own by clicking AWS and sign on. Let me show AWS sign up. You can click on any one of the link here and you can follow sign in. You can follow the steps provided here. I'm already in my mission, and what we'll do, we'll create an EC2 instance first. To do that, these are the AWS console and this is the search bar. You need to search for EC2 and click on the EC2 and then click on launch instance. Then you need to provide your mission name. For now, I'll be preparing Linux-PR. After giving the name, we need to select the image, Amazon mission image. When it comes to Oracle VirtualBox, VirtualBox, what we have done, we have downloaded a Rocky Linux ISO image. Similar way, to create an EC2 instance in AWS, we need an Amazon mission image. For that, we need to search for the Amazon mission image. Since we are going with Rocky Linux, I am searching the image name as Rocky Linux, and in marketplace we can see Amazon. I'll go with Rocky 8 and I'll subscribe on the instance launch. Now this image will be selected and it will show you here. What we did, we provided the mission name, we have selected the Amazon mission image, and this is the instance type which will show like how many CPUs you need, how much memory you need. For now, I'll go with the 2 CPUs, 4 GB RAM, T2 medium I will go. And to connect to that mission, we need a key pair. For that, you can click on create new key pair. You can give a key pair name, and .pem is for OpenSSH and .ppk for Putty. You can use any, and if you have only installed only .pem and later you wanted to connect to Putty, then you can just search puttygen. After installing puttygen, you will be able to convert the dot. Let me see if I have one. Yeah, I have. Load private key. Yeah. Now after downloading, once you download Putty key generator will also be downloaded. By using Putty generator, later if any case you want to go with, for now you have downloaded .pem key for OSH, for OpenSSH, and later you want to connect to the instance via Putty for some reason. In that case, you can use key generator to convert the .pem to .ppk. For now, I already created mine. I'll select my own key pair. I do have a key pair, but why it is asking me to create? Let me verify whether I have a key pair or not. Yeah, I do have a key pair here. Mm. Oh, sorry. Actually, I was in Mumbai region earlier. Let's me go to the Mumbai South one. Let's create our region again, our instance again in the AP South one. These are the regions. Mumbai, mostly we'll select the one which is nearer to us. For some reason, I want to go with AP South one. Again, we will be searching for Rocky Linux image. Okay, let's select Rocky 8. I'll subscribe on instance launch. The image details will highlighted here again. Rocky 8 image, and I'll change it to T2 medium. 2 CPUs and 4 GB memory. Now if you click, I have my key pair again. I selected my key pair and I want to go with the default VPC for now. You can use your by default it will select all the default one. You can go with that, and if you want to change any, you can change here. Now what I want to do, ensure the public IP is enabled, because since it is a testing and we are learning Linux, we will be accessing, if you want to access it via outside of your network, I mean outside of your AWS, the public IP needs to be allowed. Now I want to go with the existing security gateway, which is default one. You can also create your own, but I want to go with default one for now. Now once verify again what all we did. We provided the mission name, we selected the image, then with the key pair, then the instance type, VPC and security gateway. VP is virtual private network, I mean the network which we are creating. Then launch instance. Cool. Let's go to the instance place and see if it is our, click on instance. It will check, it's in pending state. We'll wait for this to complete. If the status check is initializing, we'll be having two status checks. We'll explain it later. And actually, I'm planning to start AWS as well. Once we're done with Linux, we'll see in future. Now, if you see mission state is running and the instance check is still going on. Meanwhile, we'll verify the details in the instance. Yeah, if you see, this is our public IP, private IP, and VPC details and everything can be seen here. And this is the security group. We'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes again. Meanwhile, our AMI image ID and everything can be seen here. We can go through all those things. If you have access to AWS and if you are creating an instance over there, and you can connect to this instance with the EC2 serial console session manager. For session manager, we need to install SSM agent on it, and session client, serial console, all those things. You can give a try one on one. Now let's verify if Putty session is possible or not. We'll open Putty and we'll give the IP address 15.206.91.150. Don't worry, I will be terminating the mission later. Okay, yeah. Now I want to show you one more thing. Since I use my keeper, I'm able to. And if you haven't, then you have to give this one 15.206.91.150. Since I'm habituated entering twice, I'm entering. You can give only once. Now you need to click on connections, then SSH, then auth, then credentials, then browse. You have to browse the file, the key pair, and then click OK, and then again go to login session, click open, and it will accept and give you a session. The username will be Rocky only, I believe. Yeah, if you see username was Rocky. Yeah, it's Rocky. Now if you enter host name FNI, it will show you the private IP addresses. since this is our local. And if you want to see APM, you can see all other IP addresses. Now what we'll do, we'll verify which path we are in. Yeah, we are in home Rocky, and we also verified who we are. We are Rocky. Now what we'll do, we'll verify the OS like we did earlier. etc OS-release. You see, we'll showing Rocky Linux 8.9 similarly. That's how we'll connect from. And one more thing I want to inform you, security gateway. And if you are unable to access the mission outside of your AWS via Putty, you need to go to edit inbounds and SSH from anywhere. SSH to anywhere. You just simply you can create a rule and search for SSH, and custom you can give anywhere, something like that, and you can give a try. Now that's how that's all I have for now. Well, that's all for today. Hope you uh, now you are able, I mean now you understood how Linux works and how can we connect and to the missions, and we can create EC2 instance. Thanks for watching.